If Dustin Poirier fights McGregor for a third time, will it be for a belt? Will it be just for a money fight, which I think most people think it should be? I don't understand how they could legitimately give Conor McGregor a title fight if Khabib does vacate after these defeats. That's okay, no problem with that at all. But Dustin has earned a title fight, so if Dustin wants to fight for the belt, his next fight should not be McGregor, in my opinion. It should be Charles Oliveira. But if they offered him the belt and a McGregor fight, that's a win-win for Dustin. But it's a lose for Charles Oliveira. But we're not here to talk about Charles Oliveira. We're here to talk about if McGregor and Dustin Poirier get it on for a third time, who wins, what's different. Mental warfare was such an important part in the first fight. Obviously, they both have weight cuts to 145 pounds. Dustin's looked a bit more brutal than Conor's, even though they were both equally extremely hard for them. Mental warfare was so important in that because it made Dustin really dislike Conor. It made him lose control, much like Jose Aldo. It made him not think. It made him almost a deer in the headlights when the bell rang. And that gave Conor an extreme edge as he was so relaxed in that and he could just fight his game, implement his moves. And that happened at the end, obviously, with the first round KO. Then you go to the second fight and Dustin looks healthier, he looks bigger, he looks stronger at lightweight, and he looks bigger generally than Conor. Conor's got quite a wide, broad shoulders and then he's got quite a slim midsection. But that's just the way he's built. I think definitely that Dustin walks around heavier than Conor, and on fight night he was definitely heavier than Conor. I think most people are heavier than Conor, unless if Conor's fighting at lightweight or welterweight. I think he's always going to have that disadvantage. But what did Dustin change in this fight? Obviously Dustin changed in his hand speed is better, his boxing is better. He went toe-to-toe with McGregor, which was quite even to a point. The major factor, obviously, was the calf kicks. The calf kicks destroyed McGregor's lead leg, and it kind of opens McGregor up to the kicks anyway, because McGregor's stance is so wide, it's so long. It's almost, his leg is saying, kick me here, kick me here. That's kind of what the stance does. He didn't really know what to do. He thought he could check them, but when you check a calf kick, it doesn't really do much, unfortunately, because the swelling has nowhere to go, so it just blows up and you lose all feeling, and it can impact your foot like it did in Demetrius Johnson versus Henry Cejudo. Henry could not walk for at least a round. He was hobbling back and forth. If you watch that opening exchange, I believe Henry said in an interview he was very committed to going, crap, I'm out of this already, a minute into the fight after the first calf kick. Personally, I would like to see a Dustin versus Conor 3. I think there's obviously the Nate versus Conor 3 fight, which would be great to watch as well, but I would rather see Conor Dustin, because Conor, would he be nice in the second fight as well? What would he change in this? Obviously he has to address the kicks. He has to address that, because otherwise Dustin will just do it again. The hands are quite even now. I think Conor still has the edge in it if it's just a pure boxing fight, but Dustin has boxed and gone 5 rounds with Max Holloway in recent years, and Max Holloway now to Max Holloway when Conor and Dustin fought him for the first time is a completely different beast. He's if not the greatest featherweight now of all time. The argument is Jose Aldo as well. Anyone that throws Conor's hat into that, you're wrong. I think Conor still has the skills. I think he still has the mindset. I think if he's hungry to fight Dustin again and get that win, get the 2-1 victory in a trilogy fight over Dustin, it would be huge, because Dustin he's still a dark horse in a way, because no one gives him the full credit media-wise of what he's actually achieved. Khabib loss, fine, but other than that, beating Max Holloway at lightweight for the interim belt was incredible, and all the wins he's had on the way, amazing, especially the one against Justin Gaethje with the leg kicks. I do think if Conor does fight Dustin again, Conor's really going to turn up the heat on the anger. I think he's going to have to insult him. I think he's going to have to be not so boring and nonchalant, and how he was against Cowboy. I think you've got to get an advantage somehow, because if he goes into it like he did the other time, I can't see how he beats Dustin over how Dustin beats him. I think Dustin has more tools in his arsenal. I could see in the next fight that if Conor did start getting 1 or 2 advantages over Dustin in the stand-up, Dustin would go back to straight back what he did in the second fight. Straight double leg. Conor's defense is much better than people give credit for. Hence the Khabib fight. He was doing outstanding, considering he just come off the couch essentially, and he was unfit, you could say, mentally going into that with the rage against him. He was drinking before the fights, all that kind of thing. But again, takedowns and ground game could be an option for Dustin Poirier. I love that it's an option again. I love watching McGregor fight. I think most people do. Love him or hate him, he's got the Mayweather effect in MMA now. Personally, I do like watching him. I don't like all the talk, but I do like watching him fight. Dustin doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's unbelievable and one of the best lightweights to ever do it. I do root for Dustin as well. That's why it's such an interesting matchup, and he deserves to be champion if Khabib does vacate. What do you guys think? Who do you think would win the rematch for the third time? Dustin, Conor. Make your mind up, leave it in the comments. Debate me if you want, give me shit. I don't mind, it's all good here. Leave a like on the video, guys, if you have enjoyed it. All interaction wonderful right now. Twitter, Instagram, all good. Merchandise will be coming and a website is on its way. So if you guys are interested in anything like that in the future, obviously I would want to grow a little more, get a bit more fan base, but it's absolutely brilliant. All the interaction, thank you so much for it. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit all the buttons downstairs, and comment. Let me know. See you guys.